97, Cody Goodell. And number 46, which I don't have a number on. I have the number, I don't have the name. I'm sorry. So Swartz Creek comes out. They've been in a twin set here, single back. We must have an unbalanced line. And the ball's intercepted by number 1, Mr. Chittick. Kyle Chittick had 3 interceptions at Owasso this year.
Diving catch right at his shoe tops.
It wasn't Owasso. He had 1 at Owasso. He had 3 at Carmen Ainsworth.
So the Cardinals take over on their 47.5-yard line.
So with 6:55 left, Swartz Creek gives up the ball, and Davison takes over at their own 47-yard line, 1st and 10. And we come with that same twins both ways, single back. Brent under center, he drops back. He's got all day. And he's got a man wide open, Mike Lal. And nice running catch by Mike. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 16-yard line.
That was number 7, Kyle Lane.
But not until he picked up 37 yards on that.
Finally pushed him out.
Nice pitch and catch. I'm telling you, Brett's got all day long to throw back there. Nice offensive line. And nice pitch and catch.
Yeah, he just floated that one out there. Timed it real well.
In Swartz Creek, the way they've been moving the ball this year, when they have moved the ball, has been in the air. And so far tonight, they have been unsuccessful at that. So here we are at 6:45. Davison's at the Swartz Creek 15-yard line, 1st and 10. And let's go through. You know, this year's been pretty productive, not just for the football team, but this year our girls tennis team had its first state qualifier this year, and that was Katie Streeter. Katie won her first match this year to a ranked player and went on to Davison, ended up in the state tournament, ended up 18th in the state tournament, which is the first time that Davison has ever qualified for the state. So that was kind of nice. We also had the Big 9 cross-country meet, and Emily Goddard was second for Davison and did well at the cross-country, Big 9 cross-country meet. Kenny's under center. He throws out, and we have Mr.
Stop right away.
That's Mr. Lang. Chris caught the ball, was hit as soon as he got the ball, but he held on. He's at the 10-yard line. That was a 5-yard pitch and catch, so it makes it 2nd down and 5.
I think that was Harburn that made the stop on him.
Yeah, it was a nice hit. Brett kind of hung him out to dry there, though. He put that ball up high, but Chris went up, grabbed the ball, and held on. Okay, we're in the same formation again. We've been in all night long. And it's to Ruben on a straight rush. And Ruben picked up 3. He's going to be short by 1. It's going to make it 3rd down and 1 from the 6-yard line. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's ball game. If you watched our credits when we came on, our sponsors tonight are American Premier Mortgage, Jim Dowsett, Subway.
Jim Waldron,
not Jim Dowsett. Subway and Fulcher Insurance. Now Davison comes out in our same formation. Ruben the single back, Brett up under center, but now we put a man in motion. Last time they did this, and now it's the pitch to that man in motion. He's cutting it straight up, and that's Mr. Hitchcock. Craig goes in untouched from 6 yards out. Davison's going up 20-0 after that short little pitch and catch on the end around. Actually, it's not the end around, it's the slot back around, but Davison goes up 20-0, and Craig is going to now kick the extra point. There's 5:17 left to go in the first quarter. Ball's down, and it is blocked. Craig never got the ball up. It was kicked right into his own men. So with 5:17 left to go in the first quarter, it's Davison 20, Swartz Creek Dragons 0. And Davison will be about ready to kick off here any second. Yes, we have no idea who we're playing next week, but it is nice that Davison can say we're going to be our third Big Nine championship in a row here at Davison. And along with our third straight trip to the state playoffs.
I finally got a name to go with that number 12 that's playing left cornerback for the Dragons. That's Michael Darrow. And he's made several stops, and I didn't have a name on him before.
Well, Kevin Austin's getting ready to kick off. Yeah, this is Davison has really put the power to Swartz Creek tonight. Ball kicked deep, goes down to the 12-yard line, picked up by number 32, and he's got outside.
That's Sean Skirgan.
And he's finally tackled, but not before he reaches the 40-yard line. He's tackled by number 48, I believe. And if that's 48, that's Brett Metcalf. Now, Brett just, if you saw the paper tonight, just signed a national letter of intent to play for the Hokies of Virginia Tech. I don't know. Well, here comes Swartz Creek out. We've got trips to the wide side of the field. That's three receivers. Got a single back and a quarterback and a shotgun. And here comes our back out, number 21. After a nice run, he picked up a nice 5 yards. So now, Swartz Creek is still looking for their first down. But the nice first down play of 5 yards makes it 2nd and 5 for Swartz Creek. There's 4:40 left to go in the first quarter. Davison up 20-0. And now we've got now we've got trips to the wide side of the field. Here comes the corner up. And, boy, nice McNabb. Justin McNabb, the defensive end. We brought the corner on a full blitz. And he stepped up, and when he stepped up, Mr. McNabb laid the pads to him. A loss of 7, so now it's 3rd down and 12 for the Dragons from their own 38-yard line. Nice job on Justin's part that time. Davison's just laying their ears back now, sitting in that 4-4. This time they've got everybody coming up. Here comes and it's a screen. It's a 3-man screen out to the side, and we have number 32, missed tackle. Nice play by Swartz Creek. They knew exactly what was coming off, and they had the right play for the right defense. He's finally tackled by let me get that for you. It's number 50, and that's Mr. Denkins for Davison. But not before he brought the ball all the way down to the 32-yard line of Davison, which is a 36-yard carry after the screen.
Yeah, Skirgan really moves sometimes.
Here we go. We got trips to the wide side, and then we bring the back this way. And this one's going to get intercepted by Mr. Hitchcock. And Craig intercepted the ball at the 8-yard line and brought it up to the 13-yard line, so he had a 5-yard return after the intercept.
Clayton Smith was the intended receiver, and he also made the stop after the interception.
You give that ball, you throw that ball in Mr. Hitchcock's area, you're looking for trouble. Him and Mr. Chittick. They've just been tougher than nails as far as intercepting anything back there, especially when you give it that kind of room. Swartz Creek just plain overthrew the ball that time, and Craig was waiting on him. Now, Craig goes both ways, too. And we've got the twins both ways with Ruben in the backfield. And we drop back. And there it is, number 11. That's Mike Lowell. What's nice about Mike and our wide receivers here, they all catch the ball with their hands. If you watch Mike, he went up and takes the ball, never gets to his body. And then Mike, once he catches the ball, him and Mr. Lang both are nice running with the ball afterwards.
Yeah, kind of dove into the crowd of tacklers that time rather than.
Well, it doesn't take the big hit. And
they were surrounding him.
We got a nice set of receivers out there, and right now Kenny's throwing the ball well. It's 1st and 10 after that pickup. Now this time we've got the screen.
Oh,
Except
over his head.
He threw it over his head, and we might have a holding. Or an illegal man downfield is what we had, because the ball was thrown to the back beyond the line of scrimmage. So those guys cannot release. What happened is, as long as that back stays behind the line of scrimmage, those men can go downfield. But they can't go downfield if the ball is thrown beyond. So what happened is, he waited too long. The back went beyond the line of scrimmage, and therefore we're going to have illegal men downfield, and Davison's going to take the brunt of this penalty. Had he stayed behind, he would have. Well, actually, he chased the ball because Brett threw it too long.
Yeah, it was just
too long. It was set up well. It just wasn't executed well.
Well, only 5 yards. Well, 2nd and 15 now.
2nd and 15 now for Davison. Swartz Creek's in that 4-3. Brett went on the naked boot. Oh, he had people wide open. Oh, did he have Mr. Hitchcock open for big yardage? Nobody followed the halfback coming on the crossing pattern. But he just overthrew him. That makes it 2nd down and 15. Well, we've got 2:46 left. Davison up 20-0 over the Dragons here. And it's 2nd and long for Davison. We still got twins both ways with Ruben Talley, our single back. And Ruben has the ball, and he goes through.
Oh.
And Ruben got back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard behind. So let's give him 6 yards, make it 3rd and 9.
Stepped on one of the blockers that time.
Well, that's Ruben, and Ruben steps over people.
Yeah, well, he stepped
in the Carmen Ainsworth game, Ruben was all over the field. He runs hard. So here we go with twins, single back. Brett up under center. With the snap, he drops back. He's got Mike Lowell wide open. Mike Lowell takes it up to just beyond midfield, make it the 50-yard line, 1st and 10.
And that
after
was,
that 15-yard pickup.
Josh Sheldon that brought him down, number 20.
A nice pitch and catch, all timing. Davison has a definite advantage at the receiver spot over Swartz Creek's much smaller defenders. Davison just goes up and takes the ball out of the air. Here we go, 1st and 10 from the 50. And it's to Ruben, and Ruben breaks through free and tripped over someone's foot, but not before he picked up 5 yards. Make it 2nd and 5 from the let's make that the Creek 45.
Brandon Burnett and Randy McDonald up off the bottom that time.
Nice blocking at the point of attack. Ruben didn't get touched till he tripped over one of his own men's feet. Same formation you've been watching all night. And here we go. He can go all he wants. Got a man wide open, and he hit him too. That's Craig Hitchcock. He overthrew. Mr. Chittick and Mr. Hitchcock were running parallel patterns, and I thought it was going to Mr. Chittle, but it went to Mr. Hitchcock. He picked up from the 45. He went down to the 22-yard line.
Number
which
12,
is 23 yards.
Number 12, Mike Darrow made the stop again on that play.
We got 1:05 left to go in the first quarter, and it's timeout Creek. Well, they run into a steamroller here tonight, Paul.
Yes. Davison just marching anytime they get their hands on the ball.
Well, Davison's throwing the ball, and I think you'll find out that this is a game to prepare for whoever they play in the playoffs. We know we can run the ball. We've done that the last 2 weeks. We've gotten over 200 yards rushing just out of Mr. Talley by himself. But tonight,
maybe refine some of those passing routes.
Well, we brought up 2 extra JV, junior varsity boys. We brought up more than just 2, but we brought up 2 receivers because we're planning on putting the ball into the air.
Yeah. Well, let's hope the weather holds. That'll make for
Well, we were lucky. You
Better
know, you
passing
had
game.
Carmen Ainsworth, which is fast, and we had Flushing, which is fast, and boy, we had the best night you could have
Sure,
with all that
sloppy
rain.
weather.
Yeah, that really
That
helps.
slows them down.
And it helped our defense. Our defense has been playing super. And number 35, you watch him tonight on defense. That's Nate Bundy. He's had 13 solos one game and 14 the next. And that's not even counting assists or quarterback sacks or running back sacks, which is he's had a fair amount too. He's just been Mr. Superman all over the field. Man in motion, that makes it trips to the wide side of the field, and that's usually been a running play. And Brett kept the ball this time. Nice job. He runs, takes the ball up to the 3-yard line. That's after, that would be a 19-yard carry by Brett Kenny as he went around.
Matt Priest got up off the bottom of the pile for the Dragons.
People, you can't believe how good the blocking is right now. I know we're playing Creek, but it is crisp blocking downfield. Nobody touched Brett until he got 18 yards up the field. We're starting to peak just in time for the playoffs. And we will be Big 9 champs. Okay, new formation. We've got an I formation with a fullback, with a split and a slot, and we have a penalty.
Yeah, a flag right into the pile there.
We had a dead ball, stopped it before the ball was snapped. And it's a 5-yard penalty against Davison. Will take the ball out to the 7.5-yard line. First and goal for Davison from the 7.5. You're going to see a little power football there for a second. We'll see if we come out. Mr. Chittick is the fullback. Number 1, Chittick is the fullback. And we have Ruben Talley as the tailback, and Mr. Chittick has the ball.
Right up the middle.
Right up the middle. He gets the 5 yards back, puts it back at the 3-yard line or 2.5-yard line. Second and goal from the 2.5 to 3-yard line. With 12 seconds left to go in the quarter, that's the last play of this quarter. We'll be switching ends unless somebody calls a timeout. And at the end of the first quarter, which just ended, Davison is up 20-0. You've got about 3 to 4 minutes if you want. You got time to hit the restroom, get yourself a pop or whatever beverage, maybe get yourself some chips, and get back and sit down and get yourself ready for another great quarter.
If you don't see him you come back up here.
Hello and welcome to DTV's broadcast of Davison's last game on the Rodney Collins Stadium against Swartz Creek. So far we've got a pretty nice night out here. It's a little chilly, but a good night for football. Right now the score stands at 20-0. Our Davison guys are doing really awesome. We've got a great crowd out here tonight supporting high school Cardinals from 1954 to 2004, and they're all just cheering us on. So right now I'm going to send it back up to Mr. Shepard for your second quarter, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the game.
We're back. Well, that's the end of the first quarter. Davison up 20-0, but Davison's marching. They're on the 3-yard line. First and goal from the 3 against the Dragons. Davison's pretty much had its way. And, boy, I haven't seen Davison play this good all year long, although they have played well. I tell you, the last 3 weeks have been unbelievable. We walked off that game at Grand Blanc 4 weeks ago, and I said we have to win the next 4. It's still in our hands. We can still be Big 9 champs with a little bit of luck. And we can still be Big 9. We can still go to the playoffs, but we got to win every ball game just about. Well, we're here. And here we go. Davison comes out with that same formation. With the I formation, the fullback is Chittick and Ruben Talley at the tailback. And the ball is to Chittick.
Off
And
tackle.
He's off tackle.
Touchdown.
On the dive. Touchdown, Davison. So they go up 26-0 with the extra point coming up. And the kicker is going to be, it is not Craig Hitchcock. Mr. Austin. Kevin Austin is going to be kicking the ball. Big number 90. He's our defensive down tackle. Ball's down. Up. And no good.
A little
Just
bit low
off
that
to the
time.
right. And a little bit low. So with 11:55 left, it's Davison 26. And that's of the second quarter. Davison 26, Swartz Creek Dragons nothing.
Great to give him a chance to get in there and try
well,
that
you
kick.
don't know. If Craig goes down, you got to have a kicker.
That's right.
And I tell you, right now, Davison's having its way, whether we want to run the ball or whether we want to throw the ball. That's why you can see why Swartz Creek's giving up an average of 47 points a ball game.
At this pace, we're going to be at a running clock by halftime.
Well, you won't need to worry. Davison will have lots of subs in here shortly.
Yeah.
And Mr. Kevin Austin is ready to kick the ball after the first play of the second quarter. Davison scores. And the ball goes deep down to the 21-yard line. Green picks up the ball. And he's hit and tackled by, let me get that number for you, number 40. If that's 48, that's Brett Metcalf. That's who it is, Brett Metcalf.
Spotted about the 27-yard line.
So, 1st and 10 for Swartz Creek from their own 26-yard line. Swartz Creek comes out with twin sets from the shotgun. Man in motions, that drops at the trips.
Overthrew that receiver.
Yep. We had one man go on a deep pattern
Yeah.
and another one on a little hook pattern, and they just overthrew the hook man.
Four Cardinals out there in the flat to cover him that time, so I don't think it was going to go anywhere if he threw it to him.
So now with the clock stopped at 11:44 left to go in the half, Swartz Creek comes out 2nd and 10 from their own 26. And now we've got the same formation they've been in. This time they put the man in motion. That adds another dimension out there. It puts another blocker in.
Number 3 caught it that time.
Yes, he did. A nice running job on number 3.
That's
Still
Clayton
not down.
Smith. Oh,
They're in
and
the
there's
ball
a
out.
fumble.
And now we'll see what happened.
That was slowed it down the play.
It could have been whistled, but he was still moving. He was still moving. Swartz Creek then fumbles the ball backwards, so it ends up being a loss of 1 yard line. 1 yard makes it 3rd down. 3rd down and 11. So, with 3rd and 11, Swartz Creek's going to come out.
They've got a down box at 2nd
Yeah.
on the field.
He went the wrong direction on it. It is 3rd down. That's what they're talking about right now. It is 3rd
Okay,
down.
he switched it now.
Now everything's correct. With 11:26 left to go, Swartz Creek is 3rd down and 11 from their own 25-yard line. And this time we got motion. And he's open.
Overthrown again.
Almost Chittick. If he would have thrown it where it was supposed to be, Mr. Chittick would have had that one. So the ball is going to go over 4th and 11. Swartz Creek will be punting with 11:13 left to go in the half.
Cardinal band's got the tom-toms going down there.
Yeah. Well, we hope you're enjoying tonight. Deep is Mr. Lal and Mr. Hitchcock. And they've been coming up and, well, Swartz Creek had one man short. Now they're the full set. The ball snapped and away. That's the if he picks it up, and he does, here it goes. He's got a wall.
43-yard line, he picked it up.
That's number 2. That's Mr. Hitchcock. Takes the ball up to the 41-yard line of Swartz Creek, and that is a return of 16 yards on the punt. 1st and 10 for Davison from the Swartz Creek 41-yard line. Well, Swartz Creek still looking for their first down tonight. And we have a new back in. Mr. Metcalf. Brett Metcalf is now at the back position.
Oh, they caught him that time.
No, they
he's
didn't.
shook loose. He's going to run the ball.
Okay.
And he actually gained a few yards after almost being trapped behind the line.
Brett Kenny shook off the tackler that came in free. They sent the strong safety, or free, that would have been a safety, at him. He still picks up 2 yards, so make it 2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard carry by the quarterback, Brett Kenny.
That was almost like a wrestling escape. He had him in his grasp, and he just twisted free and got outside.
Now we've got trips to the wide side of the field with a single receiver spread. Single back. Metcalf. And Metcalf breaks it. He's still going. Takes the ball up for a 1st down at the Swartz Creek 25-yard line after a 13-yard carry.
Makes the most of his opportunities here.
Well, Brett's a good back.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got some good backs in front of him, too. So here we go. We're still trips to the wide side of the field, but now that's on the right side of your TV set. We're going to throw the bubble pass out here to Mr. Hitchcock. Webb. I'm sorry, that's Tommy Webb on that. I got my 3s and my 2s mixed up tonight. Tommy picks up a long 5 yards. Make it 2nd down and 5 after that bubble pass. Nice blocking on that downfield, too, by our 2 other wide receivers. And it's to Mr. Metcalf, who's still on his feet. Ball's to the 5-yard line. That's another 11-yard pickup by Mr. Metcalf. 1st and goal from the 5. I'm telling you, there's holes big enough that I could run through. Well, maybe. Well, Mr. Tuttle says there's no hole that big, but they're blocking up front. They are opening some holes. And here we go. This is trips to the wide side of the field. Mr. Metcalf. Oh, boy. He's in. He didn't get hit till he was in the end zone. I'm telling you, Swartz Creek's defenders were put back 5 yards into the end zone. Great blocking. Davison goes up 32-0. And we're ready for the next kick by Mr. Kevin Austin. Ball's down.
Oh.
And we missed that one, too. That one got blocked.
Kicked it into the crowd that time.
So now at 32-0. 8:50 left to go in the 2nd quarter. And Davison will be kicking off. Well, we've had a few turnovers. We've had 1 turnover tonight. Swartz Creek's had a couple. But that's been the difference in the ball this year. Our first 4 games, Davison was behind on the turnover ratio, all 4 ball games. And then the next 4 that Davison won. Davison won the turnover portion of the ball big time. We've gone from a negative, well, we're at +6 right now. Actually, right now, we're a +7. But we were a -4 or 5 after the first 4 games. And the ball goes deep. Picked up by Mr. Green at the 15-yard line. And he's dropped at the 33-yard line by, and let me get you a tackler here. That's Mr. Tommy Webb and Mr. Nate Bundy. Yeah, that's Bundy's first tackle tonight. If you went to those last 2 ball games, though, you saw Mr. Bundy was all over the field. He kept us in both of those wins. And here we go. Swartz Creek with trips to the wide side of the field. Nice pitch and catch, and the number 3 just dropped the ball.
Yeah, right off
hit
his
him in the
fingertips.
hands. He was looking forward instead of staying in there and catching the ball. Swartz Creek has thrown the ball. When they've moved the ball, when they've scored in the air. So now it's 2nd down and 10 from Swartz Creek's own 33-yard line. When this man goes in motion, we got trips to the wide side of the field. This time, we've got the quarterback keeping the ball, and there's a fumble. And then Davison recovers.
Should have it.
And the tackler, Mr. Bundy, was the guy that broke the ball open. And Davison recovers the ball. Jeremy Wilson, number 33, recovered for Davison after it was knocked loose by number 35, Nate Bundy.
34-yard line.
So it's 1st and 10 with 8:31 left to go in the half. Davison already up 32-0, and Davison takes over. Hope you're enjoying tonight's home game on WDTV, Channel 19. Single back. Mr. Chris Lang, we have a touchdown. A 34-yard pitch and catch to Chris Lang. Nice, pretty catch by Mr. Lang. He had 2 defenders there, went right up between them and grabbed the ball, came down and went into the end zone. Pretty pass by Mr. Brett Kenny to Mr. Chris Lang. 10-7. And with 8:24 left to go in the first half, it's Davison 38, Swartz Creek 0. So now, with 8:24 left, Davison will be kicking off, up 38-0. Swartz Creek is not the team that the ones we've seen these last 3 weeks. But still, Davison is playing like a tiger like they have the last 3 weeks. So now, Mr. Kevin Austin has prepared the ball to be kicked. He kicks the ball down to the 15-yard line. The ball is fumbled, and he's down,
He's down
at the 22-yard line by Mr. Green for Swartz Creek. And they take over 1st and 10 from their own 22. And we now have a running clock.
Yeah, we go beyond 35 points, isn't it?
Running clock.
Is it?
Oh, that's right.
Second
I'm
half.
sorry.
That's right, Jim.
We don't have a running clock until the second half.
But if the gap stays where it is,
Yeah, we'll be running clock
as
the
soon
whole
as they
second
start
half.
the second
Okay,
half,
here we
they'll
go.
be
Swartz Creek's in the
running
same
it
formation.
differently.
Yep. And they give it to the halfback. Missed by Mr. Cody Goodell.
That's Darius Lee, the ball carrier.
Darius Lee. He had a nice pickup. Picked up about 5 yards on that play. And he's tackled by number, I think that's 4. And that would be Mr. Moose on that. It's your outside linebacker. So now it's 2nd and 5 for Creek. They're still looking for their first down. And they've got their spread to the wide side of the field. And the halfback has the ball, and he's going to lose 2 to 3 yards.
Yeah, caught behind
Tackle
the line.
by number 42 and number 87. Goodell, Cody Goodell, and Corey West were your 2 tacklers. That makes it 3rd down and 7 after the loss of 2. And now Swartz Creek comes up with that same formation. And the quarterback hands off. And he's tackled. Number 7 for Swartz Creek is tackled by Mr. Mike Perry. and Mr. number 35, Nate Bundy. Perry and Bundy, our two leading tacklers the last 3 weeks. 4th down after a loss of 1, so make it 4th and 8. And they'll be kicking to Mr. Chittick and Mr. Lal.
Hey, you listen. We'll announce it in a special way. Go ahead. You listen. Hey, we'll take
Swartz Creek drops back and boots the ball away. Nice punt. Drives Mike Lal back, gets the ball at the 33-yard line. And if he gets, bruising
What
block.
a block.
And Mike
left
made the
him on
wall,
the ground.
and he runs the ball back to, let's see where they mark it, the 41-yard line of Swartz Creek, but back at the 35-yard line, somebody never saw the wall coming, and he hit a wall. And he's not getting up. Well, if you saw that, boy, if you could see that again, you'll see somebody come right off their feet. Well, I wondered why Mr. Hitchcock wasn't back there. He's sitting on the bench, and they're working on him. Hope he's not hurt. The Swartz Creek boy had his chin straps tightened up a little bit on that. Caught him right up underneath the pads, lifting right off his feet. He got pancaked. So now Davison's going to take over 1st and 10 at the Swartz Creek 41-yard line. We've been inside the Swartz Creek side of the field this whole second quarter, Paul.
Yes, we have.
So I hope this kid isn't
Right
hurt
around
for Creek.
between the 35 and the 45.
And what I also hope is that Davison doesn't get anybody hurt tonight, because we'd like to be at full strength for the playoffs next week. And we hope that you can join us next week wherever we are. Okay, watch this block. You're going to see it on your thing. Watch the block right here. Let's see who threw it. Michael Perry. Michael Perry is going to be one of our heavyweight wrestlers this year at the Unlimited. Mike, I weighed him this morning. He weighs 220 pounds. And he's all about 6'4". Mike's a transfer back into Davison. He was here in the 8th grade and transferred out. And he moved back to Davison this year, and we're as a senior, and we're glad to have him back. And it was a legal hit. He just never saw it coming.
There was nothing wrong about the way he hit him. He just lifted
He's
him.
a little woozy, as you can see as he walks off.
Well,
He got his bell rung.
he had his eye on the ball carrier, and the blocker was standing waiting for him.
But the wall was beautiful, if you saw that. He picked up almost 24 yards on that. 24 yards on that return. And now it's 1st and 10 for Davison. There's 6:12 left to go in the first half. Davison up 38-0. And we have a new quarterback. We have Mr. Slazak, number 8 in there. Jeff Slazak is in at quarterback. So Brett's done for the evening. And he's going to throw sidearm to number 85. We've got a new end. And number 85 is Adam Setkoviak. And that's with a nice pickup of 8 yards on that pitch and catch,
Spotted
making
about
it
the
2nd down and 8.
34-yard line.
That's good to see these backups in there. Still in the second quarter. You've got a whole lot of new numbers in there, Paul.
He drills it.
And the ball hit him in the numbers, but he dropped it. Number 85, Setkoviak. Ball might have been a little bit behind him. But here we go. 3rd down and 2.5. We've got a whole new line in there. This is a whole new line. Here we go.
Tally the ball carrier.
Tally number 19, the ball carrier. And he picked up about 1 yard. We figure out, give him a yard and a half. He's got a little over a yard left to go. A yard left to go. So it's 4th and 1 with 5:12 left to go. These guys don't move them out like that first line did.
No.
But that's good to see him in there. This is where your experience will be for next year. And we've got a pull. Ball was dropped. The ball carrier was number 22 maybe?
48 Metcalf.
Was that Metcalf? Metcalf dropped the ball. And Swartz Creek takes over on downs.
New defensive numbers. Help.
Yep.
Some.
No, that's a whole new defense, except for the defensive backs. The defensive line is new. We've got a whole new defensive line and some new linebackers.
Okay. If he does it, we say something about it.
We're still keeping Mr. Chittick and Mr. Lowell back there, along with Mr. Goodall. And we have an illegal substitution on Swartz Creek. That's a dead ball foul, so it'll be 1st down and 15. And we'll be getting you these numbers as we get new tacklers now, that we've got a whole new second team in here for Davison on both offense and defense. Swartz Creek's quarterback takes the ball, and he's hit. And we have an illegal lateral, I think you're going to find, because he lateraled the ball forward. The quarterback did, just as he got hit by Cody Goodell. Now, it might be a forward pass if it's beyond the line of scrimmage.
He was beyond the line, I believe.
If he's beyond the line of scrimmage, it's an illegal forward lateral. But if he's beyond the line of scrimmage, it's a legal pass, even though it's underhand. The illegal forward pass is the thing. That's a loss of down and 5 yards. So that'll make it 2nd down. 2nd down and 20.
No, there's not going to go back that far. They're going to go from the spot of the
2nd down and 20.
pass, wasn't it?
Nope. It's from the previous spot, Paul.
Oh, I see.
Because he's already beyond the line of scrimmage.
He's not 20 yards back, though, Jim.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Well, it should
He's
be.
about 18 yards. I think he went from the spot of the
He can't be, though.
From the
Then you can't take it downfield. Here comes the quarterback. Nice tackle by number. I'm going to get you that number. Number 7. That's Mr. Lang, Chris Lang, on the tackle. But not before he picked up 6 yards for Swartz Creek, making it 3rd down and 13. Swartz Creek's quarterback kept the ball.
It's Jason Earl.
Jason Earl. That's not a Louisiana boy, is it?
Not a chance.
He drops back. He's got a pass out here to number 80.
He dropped it.
He picked it off the ground and then wanted to run with the ball after he dropped the ball.
Defense sort of stood and looked at him funny.
Okay, it's 4th down and 13 after the incomplete pass. And Davison's going to bring Mr. Lowell back in along with Mr. Chittick, our 2 deep receivers on this punt.
Yeah, they all looked at him like, we know the ball's down.
So now, with 4 minutes left to go in the half, Swartz Creek's going to punt the ball from their own 31-yard line. They get the punt away. Nice punt. Mr. Chittick grabs the ball. There's the wall. And he gets up. Oh, nice run. Takes the ball all the way up the 50.
Almost to the midfield.
18-yard return from the 32 to the 50 by Mr. Kyle Chittick. So now with 3:48 left to go in the half, Davison already up 38-0 in their second team in. Davison will be coming up over the ball.
Stay on right through halftime? I can. If you want to. That'd be fine. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We'll send it down to Kelly. She's gonna run the tape on the field, and then we'll come back to you. We'll come back to her, and then we'll come back to you, and then you do this. Okay? Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Slazak, Jeff calls a timeout. With 3:48 left to go in the half on 1st and 10. And that happens when you've got whole new offensive lines, offensive backs, and everything in there. Guys don't often realize that they're supposed to be in there because you're mixing lines. You're mixing lines,
organized.
mixing backs. Well, this is good practice for these kids. And it's been a great season. Another 7-2 season looks like. We're not there yet, but it looks like that's what it's going to be for Davison. Another Big 9 championship and another state playoff. And coming up, it should be fun in hockey this year. It should be a great time in wrestling and basketball. Now here comes Davison. Single back, twins both ways. And he's going to throw out here to number 22. Michael Zeller, the sophomore, takes the ball for a 4-yard gain. Out of that little bubble pass. That's one of those kids they brought up from the JVs this last week. So now it is 2nd and 6 after the 4-yard gain.
He's got great hands.
He's got great hands and great speed. He's a track man. And you'll see him as a point guard this year in the basketball team. Okay, here we go. Same formation. This time we pull the trap. And the guy's still
through. He's still on his feet.
Yep. That's number 48, but we got a flag on the field.
He got up inside the 40.
Is that number 40?
He got up inside the 40-yard line, Jim.
Yeah, but the runner was number...
Yes, it was.
That's number 40. And we don't know who number 40 is. And he must have been brought up from the JVs. Because we don't have a 40 on our roster. Our rosters were started out from the start of the season, and we don't have the updates, but we do have a penalty.
After that initial hit, he was only a couple feet off the ground. He was just...
he ran well, ran low to the ground and just kept his feet moving. So now we lost 5 yards on the play, makes it 2nd down and 11 for Davison. Negated a nice run by number 40. Jeff stops back. He throws the ball. And it was meant for number 85. And that's Adam Sakoviak. And so 2:52 left to go. We've got 3rd and 11. And we have quite a halftime performance for you coming up tonight, too. So stay tuned. Here we go. Mr. Slazak drops back, throws the ball, and underthrew it again. Same formation, same play, same result. And Davison will be kicking the ball, punting the ball. This is their first punt tonight with 2:46 left to go in the second quarter. Well, you've got to get these kids in tonight, Paul, because if we go to the running clock the second half, this game will be over early, fans. Cody Goodell, nice punt. It's a tail wagger. Gets a good bounce. And it's going to go dead on the 10-yard line at Swartz Creek. And so Swartz Creek takes over 1st and 10 from their own 10-yard line. I don't think they've been across the 50. Yeah, Cody's averaged, I can get you the average for Cody this season on his punts. Yes, his punt average this this year has been 32.8 yards in the first 8 games. That was a 42-yardy there. And okay, here we go. A halfback for Swartz Creek on a nice run. Yeah, I think he might have Swartz Creek's first down. Tackle was by Mr. Kyle Chittick, number 1. Your free safety.
There's another Swartz Creek number we don't have on our list.
Davison in there, 4-4. Swartz Creek with trips to the wide side of the field. And we had number 4 covering on that. And number 4 is Camden Moose, but the ball was overthrown.
He just let it all out that time and hit the sideline.
Camden had it well covered. The clock is stopped at 2:01. Davison up 38-0, and we're still in the second quarter. Well, Paul, the clock's been stopped a lot because there's been lots. The ball's been in the air all night long.
Yeah, every one of those incomplete passes is.
And here we go. Quarterback rolls out. Nice pitch and catch.
Completed at that time.
Yep. Number 1 for Swartz Creek, which we don't.
I don't have a number.
We don't have a number 1 on our roster.
A lot of new uniforms tonight or something. No, it's not even on the revised.
Nice pitch and catch, though, by the quarterback to your back out of the backfield, I believe. Let's see where number 1 is. He's not in there right now. Yes, he is. He's wide receiver. Okay, wide receiver. And quarterback keeps the ball. And he's tackled by. And we had the tackler was number Cody Goodell, number 87.
You know, Jim, I think they might have brought up more JVs on the Swartz Creek squad. Give them some varsity experience at the end of the season.
For the end of the season.
And
that's probably exactly what they did. And we had our freshman lost last night 6-0, but our JVs won big last night, 30-0.
Oh, off his fingertips.
Just off the fingertips of number 3.
Now that name I do have. That's Clayton Smith.
And so that makes it 3rd down and 9 for the Dragons with 1 minute left on the clock. And the clock stopped after the incomplete. Well, we're going to stay with you here at halftime because of the festivities as we say goodbye to the old field here, along with a few of our celebrities have been here from the 54-55 team.
Pass up the middle.
Touched almost intercept by Mr. Goodell.
Yeah, the second Davison player touched it too, I think. It was tipped up.
Cody playing linebacker. Cody's a heck of a baseball player and football player. Heck of a pitcher. And right now, when you look out there, you're going to see that there's a lot of seniors out there on that offense, on that defensive line and defensive backfield. He's playing as seniors. And on 4th down, Swartz Creek punts the ball. Mike Law calls for a fair catch.
And he dropped it. Oh, he
recovered his own drop. And so Davison takes over, 1st and 10 on their own 30-yard line. Make that the 29-yard line because he hasn't quite reached the 30. And so at 43 seconds left to go, Davison takes over, 1st and 10. Well, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's ball game so far. And we're almost halfway through with our telecast. And, Paul, I sure hope that next week we're on the air, but we won't know that until Sunday. But with 7-2, we could go anywhere. Slazak under center. And the ball
and Slazak kept it.
Still has
he
the ball.
It.
And he
completes it.
Completes it to number
that
That's
Zeller out
number
there?
22. That's Michael Zeller. That's who that's to. And that's a first down, a pickup of 12 yards to the Davison 42-yard line. Make that 13 yards.
Boy, he sure escaped that one.
Jeff
They
had
thought
people
they-
hanging all over him and threw
Yeah,
that ball.
they thought
Throws
they had
that
him in
little
the backfield.
sidearm.
He did better on that pass than he did on these ones he had time for.
So now with 21 seconds and counting, Davison comes out. And we're going to run that trap. Nice run.
Right off tackle.
Nice blocking at the point of attack. And that's number 40 again.
Timeout, Davison.
Davison calls timeout with 6 seconds left to go.
Give those boys one more chance to run the ball. Say, got the offense rolling here.
Yeah, it's been a good first half for Davison, to say the least. And you've been watching a lot of kids out there, a lot of new faces, both sides of the ball, both defense and offense for Davison. And you're going to see more of that in the second half. Yeah, we're celebrating. This is the 51st season. This field was opened in 1954, so this would be the 51st season of playing on this field. And tonight we're going to honor the team of 1954, 55, and 1955 and 56 are being honored tonight at halftime. So stay with us. Slazak drops back. And he's hit just as he throws the ball, and it's an incomplete pass with 2 seconds left to go. It will be 3rd down and 2 for Davison.
I think we're going to see a lot quicker second half.
Well, there won't be any stoppage. There won't
No.
be any timeouts. There won't be, unless they score, it's going to be a very quick second half with a continuous running clock. And Slazak underneath center. And number 40 has the ball, breaks loose, has a first down, and then a lot more. He's still running. Runs up to the Swartz Creek 38 when time runs out.
He used his hand real well that time. To
And
keep
that's a nice pickup of 12 yards afterwards.
good way to finish the first half.
So Davison's going to go in up 38-0 at halftime. And we've got on the field, we have Kelly Smith. And she's going to come to you live.
Wow, what can I say other than this game has totally been dominated by Davison. These Cardinals are absolutely pumped up. This historical game has drawn all sorts of a crowd tonight. I've seen Genesee Wolves, Kersley Hornets, and of course your Davison alumni. The Swartz Creek defense has had a number of strong hits tonight, but unfortunately for them, our Davison offense has just obviously taken the lead here, and it looks like with a 38-point lead, it looks like our guys are going to have a good chance of taking this one home. And as you know, tonight is the last game at this beloved field. DTV's own Cassie Elder and Dan Durkin caught up with one of the original Cardinal football players.
Derek Henson.
Collins Stadium has held many memories throughout the last 50 years. For one particular player, Jerry Sweener, he is sad to see the old stadium go, but he's excited for the arrival of the new stadium.
The stadium opened in the fall of 1954, which would be my junior year. That was officially the first year it was open. We had worked as a team. The football team actually helped build that football field. We laid the sod in our sophomore and junior year. I scored the first touchdown on that football field. The quarterback, who was a quarterback in that first year, gave me the ball and I scored. You know, we have to move on, and I think it was a good move putting the stadium next to the high school. You know, geographically it makes it a lot better. And no, I'm excited for the new crew that's coming through for the years.
Thank you, Dan and Cassie, for that absolutely touching story. Before I send it off to your halftime report, I'm going to send it back up to Mr. Shepard, your announcer, for his comments on tonight's halftime.
On the stadium next September, another ball will be displayed in the new stadium, and the third will be auctioned off.
Okay, welcome back tonight. Now you're watching the festivities down here, and we have 3 balls. The first one you see there is Meredith Collins, which is the granddaughter of Rodney Collins. Meredith is a teacher in Lapeer School District, I believe, and is in education like her grandfather. Now the next one is Mr. Jim Dowsett. And Jim, of course, was on the school board and was also the quarterback of the Davison team here that's being honored. And Jim's going to throw the ball to, of course, Craig Hitchcock. There are 3 balls that are being used. They're thrown tonight. One of those will be used in the first game next year. Start our home season at the new field.
Our final ball this evening will be thrown by Michael Stetson.
And Michael Stetson.
Michael Stetson was the first quarterback.
And Michael Stetson's the first quarterback in 1954. He was the quarterback of that first team of 1954, which had a halfback by the name of Mr. Jerry Sweener. And Jerry Sweener's sons were big-time halfbacks here at Davison, along with Jerry. So that's a big family tradition. In fact, when you look down there, you're going to see a bunch of people who are the who's who of Davison.
Please join me in recognizing the players who were among the first.
And here we go. We're going to announce these players as we go down through here.
Here they are. Please acknowledge, show your appreciation and welcome, Mr. Jack Bacchus.
There's Mr. Bacchus, Jack Bacchus.
Sam Buck.
Sam Buck was another ball player for Davison.
Jerry Crothers.
Jerry Crothers.
Ted Dipzinski.
Ted Dipzinski. He's had many grandchildren and children come through here. Mr. Fulcher had many kids come through here and great. Bob Garrison.
Mike Drumley.
Mike Drumley.
Ed Feathers.
Ed Peathers. He had 2 wonderful boys go through here in 1968, 69, 70.
Jerry Sweener.
Jerry Sweener, of course, he was in Lakeville School District a long time.
There's that quarterback. No, this isn't the quarterback. This must be the other guy. It's David Stetson.
David Stetson.
We've got a couple of Stetsons here.
We had 2 Stetson brothers.
The other guy. You bet. It's Michael Stetson.
Michael Stetson, the quarterback from 1954. Came all the way from Arizona tonight.
And once again, would you also please welcome Meredith Collins, the granddaughter of Rodney A. Collins.
It's kind of neat to have Rodney Collins' granddaughter here tonight. He would have liked that.
Also, Davison grad. We also want to recognize some of our former coaches and administrators.
And we got coaches and administrators here that have been here in the last 50 years.
Former track coach.
Jim Dowsett, track coach, Davison.
Carl Elliott.
Carl Elliott, football coach for a long time here.
Don Green,
Donovan Green, athletic director and coach here at Davison.
Gary Kelly, former assistant superintendent.
Former superintendent, Mr. Gary Kelly.
Welcome back, Bill Perry, former track
Bill
coach.
Perry from up north. Bill Perry's a track coach here forever. Great man, great
Richard
track
Ramsey,
coach.
former Davison High School
Principal,
principal.
Mr. Richard Ramsey.
Robert Slazak.
Robert Slazak, another principal.
Welcome back to Paul Weiss.
Paul
former
Weiss,
Davison High School principal.
previous principal.
Ron Whitman.
Ron Whitman, track coach here for a long period of time. Still
Also,
track
we have
coach.
Bart Zachrich. He's standing in for his father, Al Zachrich.
Yeah, Bart
former
is
superintendent.
Mr. Zachrich's son. who is superintendent here.
Will receive the maroon and gold flag as they exit the field.
You have Mr. Becker down there, Phil Becker. You wouldn't want to forget him. He is Mr. Davison. He's in the blue and yellow coat there. And this is an old-time field.
Mark it on your calendar, 2005, when we begin a brand new era of memories here in Davison in the new athletic stadium. Thank you.
We're going to miss the old girl here at Rodney Collins, but she's still going to be used for athletic events, but she won't be varsity football anymore. And now we're going to have the band coming up here, but we're going to have the Pon Pon girls first. And what a first half of football. Now enjoy as we get ready for the Pon Pon girls to come out. And I'm going to let you just watch and listen as the Pon Pon girls come out. The Davison High School Pon Pon girls.
good. Yep. I got to walk with you, though. All right. You guys getting it?
Well, there's a nice picture, if you're watching on your TV, of Robert Canuti, soloist on the trumpet tonight. All those without their standard uniform are all seniors playing in their last scheduled home game. And we say last schedule because we don't know if they're going to be playing, where we're going to be playing next week or when. Now we do have some first half statistics while the band is playing. Davison had 21 rushes for 151 yards in the first half. Brett Kenny was 11 for 13 for 188 yards passing. So we had 339 yards of offense in the first half. Miss Zimbo, Jamie Zimbo on your screen, our lead, one of our lead baton twirlers. Well, this is an extra long half because of all the ceremonies and everything. We have about 5 minutes left before when the band finishes up, and we'll be ready to start our second half with Davison leading 38-0. It was a good half for Davison. Our big receivers, Mike Lall, number 11, had 4 catches for 91 yards. Number 3, Craig Hitchcock, had 3 catches for 51 yards. And number 7, that would be Chris Lang, had 3 catches for 46 yards. Running the ball, Ruben Talley, number 19, had 9 carries for 76 yards. Number 48, Brett Metcalf, had 7 carries for 38 yards. Brett Kenny ran twice for 21 yards. Mr. Chittick ran twice for 9 yards. And I've got to check the other one here. Mr. Hitchcock had 1 carry for 7. But the biggest stat of all, of course, is the score, 38-0 at halftime. Davison over Swartz Creek.
Well, this has certainly boosted the season touchdown total. We only had 24 touchdowns coming into tonight's game for the season.
We had, well, the thing about it is we're playing great defense.
Oh, yeah.
Swartz Creek had 1 first down in the first half, and that was just before halftime. And we haven't given up a first down by the starting D. But to have 1 in the whole first half, hold them to 1, is great. You're enjoying the halftime performance. The Davison High School Marching Band received all 1s in their band competition this last week, and they have to be very proud of that. And it's a great performance they're putting on right now. He's number 2-2.
What? 3 catches. He's had 3 catches. 22.
And that's the end of our halftime performance by the band. And it's a great performance. And of course, come off with the Davison fight song. And next week, we could be at Flushing. We could be at Flint Central. We could be at Carmen Ainsworth. There's a lot of places we could be, but those are the ones that have been talked about as possible teams that we could be playing next week. But we won't know that until they put all the teams in the hat.
Yeah, you don't even know the list.
No, we don't. We don't even know the divisions because they take everybody with a 6-3 record or better.
Yeah.
Put them all in, fill it out with any teams that are left that are 5-4 that would fill out the divisions. Set them up according to the size of the school population, and then they cut off equal amounts in 8 separate divisions.
Yep.
And we won't know that until Sunday afternoon. Now, Creek and Davison are now out onto the field, and we have 1:04 on the clock, so we will be starting shortly. And this will be a running clock in the second half until Swartz Creek brings the score under a 35-point deficit.
Isn't there one situation that stops the clock?
Timeouts.
It's only timeouts.
Timeouts. Paul, I'm really looking forward to seeing this hockey team and basketball team and wrestling team this winter too.
We've been on a run for several years here with
our wrestling is
quality
only
teams and
our wrestling. We will be better this year. We're rated 3rd in the nation right now, and that's 3rd in the nation. And our hockey team is filled with veterans. It should be another great season. We've been on a run for 3 straight years, and this will be number 4 for us. And it should be a great season.
Yeah, they seem to graduate a few top-notch seniors and then fill in with some freshmen and sophomores coming
Yep.
right up behind them. So
I hope people realize how nice it is to be so proud of what the kids do here in our athletics and academics at Davison, and how nice it is to have such good kids in school.
Yeah.
It sure makes teaching fun. And you get so proud of going to see them, and when you get down to the state and you go to the playoff games and everything else, and to realize that it's a nice time for these kids to grow up and be part of a tradition that has come about here at Davison. And it's an end of one field, but it's just a carry over into the new one.
Yep.
And old Rodney Collins here has been a good field for us, but we're going to start a new tradition again next year.
Well, it's always been a bit unusual here compared to playing at other fields away, since it's an east-west oriented field.
Yeah, and we're now going to go north and south.
Yeah, not too many of them were east-west
We
oriented.
won't be looking into the sun anymore on kickoffs and kick returns. And Collingwood over here won't be listening to us all night long either.
Well, and having cars parked throughout their
through their
subdivision.
neighborhoods too. So now we're just within 30 seconds of kickoff, and Davison is taking the field. They'll be kicking off to Creek.
Ashley Braley. Megan Brown.
And I sure hope you've enjoyed the games this year. I sure enjoyed bringing them to you. And it has been fun. And we're not done yet. And I hope we can bring at least one more to you. But
Well,
you never know. It's 7-2.
Well, I've enjoyed filling in tonight.
And we're ready for Mr. Kevin Austin to kick off. They're waiting for the last of the chain gang to get back here. And now we're set. Kevin kicks the ball deep, kicks it over his head, picks it up at the 5-yard line. That's
Sean Skirgan, the ball carrier.
and nice tackle by number 91. Mr. 91 is Derek
Elizondo?
Nope.
Is that what it was?
Alonzi. Derek Alonzi. Okay. Swartz Creek comes out with split and a slot to the wide side of the field. Twin backs with the quarterback, and now a man in motion to the direction of the slot.
Earl's going to pass it again.
No,
Nope,
he's going to
gonna
run
keep
the
it.
ball.
Nobody was open.
And we have a nice tackle by number 20. Number 20 on the tackle. And that's John Baker for Davison making the tackle.
Picked up about 3 yards.
Picked
Second
up.
down and 7.
And it's a long 3, 2nd and 7. Give it to the halfback. And he's
caught.
tackled. Nice tackle in the backfield by 42. That's Corey West.
Got him at the 15-yard line.
Corey's having a heck of a ball game tonight. And that's a loss back to the original line of scrimmage. No, make that back.
5 yards back.
That's 4 yards back, so he lost 7 yards on that, making it 3rd and 14. And Swartz Creek goes back to throw the ball.
Oh, he had it in his hands.
And it was intended for number 80.
Number 80.
But he dropped the ball.
Who was Galen Stone.
And with that, Davison is now going, Swartz Creek's going to punt. It's 4th and 14 for Swartz Creek from their own 15-yard line. And, of course, we dropped Mike Lall and Mr. Chittick, Kyle Chittick deep. to return this
I
punt.
don't know why. There he goes. Starts the clock again. For some reason, he stopped the clock that time.
And the ball goes,
They're going to let it roll.
and the ball goes down to the Davison 43-yard line, 1st and 10, where it stops rolling. And Davison takes over on downs. Well, there's another defensive stand, Paul.
Three plays and out.
And let's see. Well, we've got we have Mr. Slazak under center. We have Mr. Metcalf in the backfield, and Webb in motion. And it goes to Metcalf, who goes outside, cuts it up. He's still on his feet. He fumbled the ball, and Swartz Creek recovers on their own 47-yard line, 1st and 10 on the fumble.
That was another one of those mystery numbers that recovered the ball for Creek.
Another turnover for Davison. I think there's Mr. Bell's talking to Mr. Metcalf, reminding him you got to hold on to the football. Okay, Swartz Creek with twins, and they give it to the halfback. Nice move, nice run, and it's a touchdown.
Darius Lee.
Nope, Mr. Lee got tackled by Mr. Moose. But it's at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
Second first down tonight, is that?
That's the second first down tonight, and we got a whole new defensive line going in. And linebackers. We got a whole new defensive team going in.
We don't have enough players.
Well, we're only playing 10.
We're only playing 10.
They stopped him, though.
But he got stopped. You can play with 10.
5 carrying the ball.
Doesn't help you, though. And he picked up 3 yards. Now we've got a full contingency.
Yeah, they got 11 now.
Last call for 50-50 ticket sales. We're going to shut her down real soon. So far,
And he's going to pass the ball. And he's going to get hit by Mr. McNabb, and he runs out of that. Oh, he got hit there, though.
Found a crowd.
Yeah, I think he got back to the line of scrimmage. That's going to make it 3rd down and about 7. And that's Nate Bundy. They did put the first team back in, is what they did. They don't want him to score. So it's 7:09 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Keep that running.
Swartz Creek has 3rd down and 7 to go. And here we go. Quarterback rolls out.
Pass out in the
It's
flats,
going to be intercepted.
And he's got an open field ahead of
And
him.
I think I know who that is.
Oh, they're going to catch him.
Number 7. That's Chris Lang. Boy, we've had enough intercepts this year. That defensive backfield has just done a great job. Chris Lang picked that one off and returned that from the 15-yard line all the way down to the Swartz Creek 32-yard line. So that would be 25 plus 18. That's a 43-yard return by Mr. Chris Lang on that intercept. He stepped right up in front of the receiver, picked it off. So now Davison comes back out with their number Slazak under the ball. Tommy Webb, and the ball's given to number 48, Esther. Now that is Mr. Brett Metcalf, and he picks up a quick 18 to 19 yards. He goes down at the 6-yard line. It's 1st and goal for Davison.
He's got about on the 8-yard line, Joe.
They put it on the 8? Yes, they did. So make it 1st and goal from the 8. So with 5:22 left to go in the third quarter with a running clock. Davison's got first and goal from the 8-yard line. And we've got a new back in the backfield there. We got Tommy Webb playing tailback. And Tommy Webb, he's hitting. And he's
got the angle.
In the end zone. Tommy scores his first touchdown from 8 yards out on an 8-yard run by Tommy Webb, number 3. Now that's a family that's had lots of kids come through Davison and lots of good athletes. Grandpa's probably here tonight, watching with a smile on his face. Kind of nice to see the Davison flag coming back and forth here in front of the stands too. Now we're going for 2, up 44-0. And the ball's given to Mr. Webb again. But he did not get in. Swartz Creek stopped him right at the goal line.
The score at 44-0.
And so with 4:36, Davison will be kicking off to Swartz Creek. And the big thing is Davison's up 44-0. Maybe we can get lucky tonight, Paul, and Kersley find a way of beating Grand Blanc.
That's a long shot.
Grand Blanc has so much speed.
Yeah.
And Kersley's big runner last week that had over 200 yards broke his leg in practice this week, so that doesn't help either. So now we have Kevin Austin ready to kick off again.
I don't know what it means. I don't know anything about it.
And Kevin kicks it deep. And he picks up the ball at the 12-yard line. And he runs out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Number 32 for Swartz Creek.
Sean Skirgan again.
I know I never come up here.
Okay. Here we go. Swartz Creek comes out over the ball. They're still in that split with a slot. Twin backs out of the shotgun. Their line's wheel cover to wheel cover. Give it to the up back. And he picks up about 7 yards. And we're alternating men in that defensive line. 3 come in, 3 go out. So he's keeping guys fresh because we do have the second team in. Oh, there are some starters left. They have the defensive backs are the standard starters. And the 50-50 tonight is $436. Okay, here we go. This time we have trips and the handoff to the up back.
Darius Lee.
Mr. Lee goes down, but after he picks up no gain. So that makes it 3rd down and 3 long 3. So here we are with 2:55 and counting. This will be a very quick half if this clock continues to go. So now we come out here and we've got a split right with a slot right, twin backs out of the, and the quarterback drops the ball and he's going to throw it downfield and it's going to be intercepted. No, it's incomplete. The Davison man, number 4, Mr. Brandon Moose, stepped in front but was unable to control the ball. Almost had another turnover for Davison. So that makes it 4th down and 4. And Swartz Creek looks like they'll be punting. And going deep for Davison is Mr. Kyle Chittick and Mr. Mike Law.
5-2-3. 1-8-3-8. 5-2-3. 1-8-3-8. If you have yellow ticket number 5-2-3. 1-8-3-8. Come on up to the press box. We have 1,400.
And it's a nice punt away. Kicks it out of bounds. And Davison will have good field position, taking over at their own 49-yard line. 1st and 10 with 1:32 and counting. So with 1:32 to score, Davison 44, Swartz Creek nothing, and a running clock. It's going to be quick, fans, so don't stay long. Davison comes out with twins both ways, single back. And Mr. Slazak underneath. He drops back, gets a little pressure, he throws. And he was throwing to number 85, that's Adam again. Adam Sinkoviak. But it was over his head.
Yeah, he actually had a little bit of pressure that time.
Yep. And so now we got 40 seconds. This might be the last play of the third quarter.
That's the other reason they stopped the clock, Jim, besides the timeout.
Touchdowns.
It's the end of the quarter.
End of the quarter.
So they'll get a little momentary break.
And with the man in motion, we give it to the up back. Straight forward, tailback takes it. He picks up 7 yards. And that back is number 48. That's Brett Metcalf. He picks up 7. And that will be the last play of the quarter. And so with 3rd down and 4, here we go. We've got 1 quarter left to play. 1 quarter left to play in Big 9 regular season football. And you're watching the 2004 Davison Big 9 champions.
We gotta come up with a new saying next year. I can get all you guys to turn around and take a quick look this way. You can turn on the light if you want. If it helps you. Oh, that'll work even better. Don't fall.
And now, Swartz Creek comes out, playing on defense as Davison gets ready. Davison's got to realize which side of the ball they're on. And from the Creek 45, we've got 3rd down and 4. Davison comes to the single back. Man in motion is Tommy Webb. He gives it off to number 48, and that's Mr. Metcalf, and he's got a ton of room, and he has nice blocking by that new line in there.
Picked up about 15 yards.
And he goes from the 45 down to the 29, give him 16 yards on the carry. And it's 1st and 10 from the Swartz Creek 29-yard line. That's the first play of the 4th quarter. And we do have a running clock. And Davison comes out with a split. We got trips to the short side of the field, and we got a split over here. And we're gonna run the trap inside. We've got a hold.
There's a flag on the play, yes.
And the tackle is on number 48, Mr. Brett Metcalf. He picked up 3, but they're going to bring this one back. We've got a holding against Davison.
That's yellow ticket 523 1838. Yellow ticket 523 1838. Please report to the press box immediately. We have lots of money for you. That's 523 1838.
Why is
Why is the clock stop? They're switching.
We have a big line football score.
on the clock? Okay, here we go. And it's now 1st down and 20. He throws the bubble pass to Michael Zeller. And Mike cuts it up. He picks up 9 yards, or make that 8 yards on that. He's got 3 catches tonight for a total of 21 yards.
Swartz Creek seemed to have that play figured out pretty well. They had 3-man coverage out there on him.
So now we've got, make them 7 on that one, so it makes it 2nd down and 13. And we've got twins both ways, single back. Webb goes in motion. We're going to option to that
Oh,
side.
he tripped in the backfield, and he's down.
And he's brought down with no gain. That was Brett Metcalf. Nice play by the Swartz Creek ball player coming up.
Brought down by Justin Newby from the Dragons.
And that makes it 3rd down and 13 for Davison with 10 minutes and counting. And here we go. Davison comes out. We've got a twins both ways, single back. Slazak under center. He drops back. He's going to throw. He's got a man wide open. Number 3. That's Tommy Webb. Tommy's down to the 10-yard line. 1st and 10 with 9:35. And Davison's knocking at the door again with his second unit.
Spots actually at about the 11-yard line. But
Okay, we'll make it the 11 because he can make a first down by about a foot.
yes.
So now time is called for Swartz Creek, and the clock is stopped with 9:16. Davison up 44-0, and they are driving. They're at the 11-yard line, 1st and 10. I sure hope you've enjoyed this as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. And this is a great group of kids that we've got down here on the field. I thoroughly enjoy working with them in the classroom and out. And what's nice is they've got such a nice attitude.
I've enjoyed being back up in the booth after several seasons away.
And Creek's trying to set themselves. They don't want to go down another touchdown. It's nice seeing Tommy Webb getting the football tonight, too. And he's squeezing that baby and hanging on. And nice to see Brett Metcalf carrying the ball. And here we go. We got twins both ways. Single back is Metcalf. And it's Metcalf.
Oh, got caught that time.
But he picked up
Struggled
2
back.
yards. Well, let's see. They're going to give him 1.
I think so.
So make it 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9.
We don't know. That's what I wrote. It'll be announced on Sunday, and Davison is qualified for the state class. This time we don't know.
Okay, here we go with twins again. With Metcalf and Tommy Webb under motion. Metcalf's got the ball. Nice block. Oh, my goodness. Nice block downfield.
Strolled into
Number
the end zone.
81. 81 was in the end zone. That is Wes Blankenship. What a nice block. There was 3 great blocks down there. Wes had his man. They walled off the whole thing. He went untouched into the end zone from 10 yards out. Davison 50, Swartz Creek 0. And with 8:27 left to go, Davison's going for 2. Great blocking. And you got to remember, this is the second unit. And here's Metcalf, and he's into the end zone, and it's 2 points are good. It's 52-0.
Yeah, I don't
with
think that's
8:27 left to go.
I don't think that's an attempt to run up the score. I think
No.
they just want to give those boys
Well,
some
you've got
experience.
whole second team
Yeah.
line in there. You've got second team back, second team quarterback, second team wide receivers. I mean, what do? You don't kneel on the ball. These guys have earned the right to play.
Yep.
And they're showing that they can play football too. So Davison will be kicking off to Swartz Creek with 8:27 left to go in the 4th quarter.
We have $1,436 for green ticket number 157-5980.
And Kevin Austin sets the ball up to be kicked. And here we go. Kevin boots the ball away, and it goes deep to number 34, Mr. Green. And he's pretty elusive, but he got a nice tackle by number 91. 91 on the tackle.
Well, it's another one of those mystery
Derek
numbers.
Alonzi. Derek Alonzi. And there was a fumble on that play, and I believe Davison got the ball. So if that's true, with 8 minutes left to go in the game and counting, already up 52-0, Davison's going to get the ball at the 19 or at the make that the 24-yard line, 1st and 10. Okay, here we go. And number 8. Who? The quarterback is Jeff Slazak, and we've got twins both ways, single back. And watch the blocking. Great blocking at the point of attack. And here we go with Mr. Metcalf. And he goes from the 24-yard line, a 24-yard scamper for another TD. Davison goes 58-0 with that. That line, even though they might be second team, is moving Swartz Creek out. And I'm sure that's Swartz Creek's second team also. Our flag bearers getting tired running up and down the field every time we score a touchdown. Okay, now we're going out here and we're going to try an extra point kick by Kyle Chittick. The fullback is going to try an extra point. The ball's down. The ball is up. And it is no good.
He got the elevation on that, but just pushed it off to the side.
And it's 58-0 with 7:16 and counting.
You can stay here till the end of the game. I told him, I said, the lady who sold me my 50 is telling you. I said, I saw her running up here.
Now, Davison will be kicking off again here. That's 2 quick touchdowns in less than 30 seconds for Davison. Kind of feel sorry for Creek. They've played better this season than this. But right now he brought up a few JVs, I'm sure, that didn't play last night, and give them a little time. This is the program that's building over at Creek. And Kevin Austin gets ready and he kicks the ball away. Down to Mr. Green, picks it up at the 15-yard line. And he's hit right at the 25. Tackler is Cody Goodell and Derek Alonzi.
Oh, yeah, that was Anthony Green. I'm sorry. He was the ball carrier.
And they set the ball at the 26-yard line of Swartz Creek, 1st and 10, with 6:50 and counting.
I'll bet somebody out there is starting to check the record books on margin.
I've seen this before.
It's been a while.
Over the last 36 years,
It's been a
we've
while.
had some of these, but not many. And it's an inside handoff to number 21. Boy, he runs hard. And that's a first down. I think that's Mr.
Darius Lee again.
Darius Lee gets a first down, picked up 12 yards. It's 1st and 10 for Swartz Creek from their own 39-yard line, making 13 on that one. And we're just inside the 6-minute mark when they get this snapped with a running clock. So don't go very far. It's going to be over before we know it. And there'll be a little bit of a celebration here as Big 9 champs will be crowned, I'm sure. Now, we just had a penalty.
Blew that one dead.
And
before he could really get the play underway.
I'm going to guess that's motion. Or it's offsides.
I think he's signaling offsides.
Offsides against Davison. We must have lined up offsides, so it's a 5-yard penalty and make it 1st and 5 from for the Dragons. from the 44-yard line. And so now Swartz Creek comes out 1st and 5 from their own 44.
But again, and we're not going to announce the number again. We're not going to say anything about it.
And it's an inside handoff to number 21, Mr. Lee, and he's going to lose a yard on that. So that makes it 2nd down and 6. Nate Bundy on the tackle. Nate hasn't played a lot of football tonight. There's a lot of happy kids down there in the field tonight. A lot of kids got a lot of playing time tonight. And he drops back. Quarterback's going to throw the ball.
Completed one up the middle.
Completed one. Nice pass play. This might go all the way. This is number 3.
He got caught. He stopped to cut back, and the defender figured
nice
it out.
Pass and catch to Clayton Smith. Tackle by Camden Moose. So it's Jason Earl to Clayton Smith. And he's got the ball at the 17-yard line of Davison, 1st and 10. Okay, Swartz Creek comes out. And we've got the same formation with motion. Oh, and that's intercept. No, he dropped it. It hit Mr. Camden Moose right in the pads again. It's 2 of those he's dropped tonight.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't expect to have one laid right in your breadbasket there. But he knocked it down, and that makes it 2nd down and 10. And the clock is still running with this running clock because of the point differential. Davison up 58-0. And so here we go. Same formation, wide side of the field with the split and the slot. Quarterback rolls out, throws back.
Number
You got
80.
a little one-man screen, and number 80 walks in. And
That was
Swartz
Galen
Creek scores
Stone.
with 3:40
Galen
left.
Stone for
It
Swartz
was
Creek.
Earl to Stone. Jason Earl to Mr. Stone for that was a nice little play.
Yes.
And Swartz Creek's going to go for the extra point. So with 3:40 left to play, Swartz Creek goes for
Robbie Shabley out there kicking the extra point.
and that's a nice
And it's
kick.
good.
So that makes it 58-7 with 3:40 remaining.
You got some T-shirts down there, huh?
I'm sure there's some Big 9 champ shirts down there that they're passing out. Those kids have earned it. I remember standing over there at the opening game over there at Oxford this year.
Just holding it till the end of the game. And I'm going to give
And we have improved with every game.
I thought you would think.
We've improved
Checking with
every
you.
game.
You're 1,500. Okay. She's happy. She's very comfortable with that.
So here we go. Davison will be receiving the ball. You might see Swartz Creek trying to onside it, but I don't believe it. There's 3:40 left in the clock, and it is a running clock.
Yeah, I'm not
so-
sure they want to give us field position that easily. We've had it all night, but the one chance to kick off, or second chance in the game. I don't think they want to have us start at
Well,
midfield.
you've got people up there. They're only 5 yards. If they're over the 50-yard line, and that's picked up by Mr. Lal.
Oh, he shook it off. Oh, they
And
ganged
he's
up on him.
tackled at the 14-yard line. 1st and 10 for Davison from their own 14-yard line.
Now, see, we had to announce that. We announced my wife wanted to. No, I wasn't. I didn't bring the number up.
Well, that enlivened Swartz Creek a little bit, that last
Yeah,
score.
a little bit of a spark there.
And there's 3:14 and counting, and Davison comes out. And we have Slazak will be under center. And number 40 is in the backfield. We got a new halfback. we have a penalty here. It is a illegal procedure against Davison.
1st and 15 now.
A lot of happy boys out there tonight. And next week will be a long week preparing
Referees are trying to get him to start the clock.
for the playoffs. So now it's 1st and 15. And it's given to number 40. And that was a short pickup of 2. Makes it 2nd down and a long 12 or a short 13.
They just got the coach down there with the water bucket.
Well, here we go, 2nd down at the 2-minute mark and running.
That wasn't the head coach, it was one of the coaches.
And here we go. Nice back. Couldn't get away. And I believe that's number 40 again.
We're down in the 140s. 1 minute and 45 seconds and counting.
And watch your paper. Well, you won't know till Monday if you watch the paper.
Monday's newspaper.
But Sunday night news should be able to tell you where Davison will be playing and when. Because there's a few teams in the Big Nine this year. Powers possibly, Grand Blanc, Flushing, Davison, Carmen Ainsworth could all be in the playoffs. They're all in the playoff hunt. There's a nice run, nice cut by number 40. And he picks up about 17, 18 yards. I can't help you who the name is. We just hit the 1 minute mark. But he was brought up. We don't have him on our roster.
Matt Palavina brought him down for the Dragons.
So we're under 50 seconds and counting. So now we got twins both ways, single back.
You're welcome.
And it's number 40. Boy, he doesn't go down easy. Nice move.
No,
he picks
he's
up
spinning
a
all
tough
the way
3
that time.
yards. And that might be the last play of the game.
I think so. They're not going to go back up under center.
So I can't tell you when we're going to play next. I hope it's here. And if it's here, we will broadcast this, I'm sure. And I hope to see you here next Friday. But you're looking at the Big Nine champs for the year 2004. And it's been a pleasure bringing it to you. And we'll now go down to the field with Kelly Smith. And this is a pretty good time here as they shake hands.
Cardinal fans, stay in touch with the news. Find out where your Cardinals will be playing and when next weekend. Round 1 of the Michigan High School Athletic Association playoffs.
And it sure has been a pleasure bringing this to you. And we're just about ready to go down to the field here and have Kelly. Kelly Smith's going to interview somebody here. And they're trying to bring over here some of the guys to talk to Kelly. I don't happen to have any stats for at the end of the game yet. We'll have those shortly, but we won't have them before the end of the broadcast. But it's pretty one-sided. And the score was that. Final score, 58-7, Davison over Swartz Creek.
Hey, you bet, Mike. Good as always, guys. Good as always.
And here we go. we're bringing over some of the linemen, it looks like, maybe. And so we're ready, and here we go. We're going to go to Kelly on the field. And Kelly, take it over.
I'm here. And offensive line. Not here right now, but not Jake. You guys, playoffs are coming up. What's your plan for the offensive line? And Sam, tonight we had an how do you think this happened? And here's Chris Lee. So I'll ask you. You guys are Big 9 champions, third year in a row. How do you think you're going to keep this up for next? We're going to go 4. And that wraps it up for tonight. You guys have a nice night.
Tonight's live broadcast of Davison Cardinals football on DTV was brought to you by America's Premier Mortgage, Vulture Insurance Companies, Subway of Davison, and Jim Waldron Pontiac, Buick, GMC Truck.